Musikken her er China Boy, manden til nordsaxofonisten Lawrence Bud Freeman, der i 1927 sammen med Mackenzie's Condons Chicagoans indspillede dette plus 3 andre numre som det første eksempel på den såkaldte Chicago Jazz. Bud Freeman, der blev født i 1906, gik sammen med en række andre af den tidlige hvide jazzmusiks berømtheder på Chicagos Austin High School.
Yes, well, it's a very interesting thing. I had not yet decided in any way, nor did I think I was going to be a musician. But luckily I met, and my environment then became all music. I met the McPartland brothers. Jimmy, of course, who's was married to Mary McPartland. And Jimmy's doing very well now. In fact, I recorded with him in Holland recently. Then his brother Dick, Jimmy played cornet. His brother Dick played guitar. Jim Lanigan, who was later to become their brother-in-law, played drums and piano then, and then took up bass, and later went with the Chicago Symphony. Now, Dave Tuff, although we considered him, the great drummer, we considered him to be one of the Austin High Gang, was going to Oak Park High School, which was in another suburb. And he used to come over to Austin to see his girlfriend, who was attending Austin High School. So he was our drummer. Now, our pianist was a fellow by the name of Dave North, whose wife now teaches at Austin High School. He had never gone to Austin, but he was one of the Austin High Gang. Now, I think the thing that was unique about the Austin High Gang was that we had become professional players in our junior and senior years, which was there was no high school in the world that had, or public school, that had professional players. No, we were very much influenced in those days by King Oliver, the great, practically Louis Armstrong's teacher, although Louis Armstrong was a great artist. He hadn't really developed yet because he was still a young man. And we used to go out, now this is many years ago,
Sure.
We used to go out and hear this wonderful music. It was a new sound to us, the most creative new sound. In fact, no one was hearing this kind of music. We, of our own volition, went out to hear the music. And what you heard in the style of the Austin High Gang, later to be called so-called, then black man's music.
But were you allowed to go in and listen to King Oliver?
That's the most interesting thing. As I say in the book, here they were, the black people, allowed none of the privileges we had, and yet we were allowed to go in, and they seemed to welcome us. They knew we were there for the music. And I remember the big fat doorman who weighed about 350 pounds. He said, "I see you're all out here to get your music lessons tonight," because they knew, you see, that we were there to hear the music. And I remember many years later when I did a television show with Lil Armstrong, a show called Chicago and All That Jazz. I asked her about that. She said, we used to look out at you all, and we used to wonder, what are they staring at? What are they doing here? They didn't know, you see, these people didn't know that they were actually laying down a whole new development of music, a whole new creative form of, incidentally, American music, which was later to become jazz.
Og Freeman Jazz spilles her af Freeman selv, pianisten Niels Jørgen Sten, bassisten Hugo Rasmussen og trommeslageren Ove Rex.
Thank you.